Uh, Good afternoon. This is Hardik Parikh, Manager, Electric Consulting. We are meeting here to discuss about the fundamentals of electric power consulting and the transmission planning. The topic will cover the majority of the work that's been done by the consulting group and what all activities and support the planning group provides. Okay, so the goal here is to provide the attendees the primary work of the power system consulting, and that will help the attendees to identify the capabilities and the services the consulting group offers. Um, so the basic functions of a consulting group is to provide support through LGIA, which is Large Generator Interconnection application, that consists of detailed model developments that's required by different interconnection transmission service provider and the ISOs for the renewable or non-renewable projects interconnection. This consists of different studies, power system studies done by the ISOs and TSPs. And in the back end of the project, once project is energized and online, it also includes the NERC compliance to ensure the project qualifies with the North American Electricity Reliable Council's criteria and the standards. And we'll touch base on the transmission planning groups and the activities that we support. So this slide provides a bird's eye view of the services and activities includes the project inception all the way until there is a signed generation interconnection agreement and all the activities in between this phases. So once the project is in pipeline, there is an application that's been submitted to interconnecting utility that includes all the models and the application documents that's done by the consulting group. Our consulting group supports activities that includes running some of the transmission studies on behalf of the transmission provider, as well as we also support developers and interconnection customers to mimic or perform shadow studies to give fair insights of what the outcome of those studies will look like, and help them make or select the risk and expedite their interconnection process. This studies does consist of steady state studies, which are load flow and short circuit, and the dynamic studies. The goal of the studies is mainly to focus on ensuring that the new interconnection customer and the projects that are requesting interconnection does not inadvertently affect the stability of the grid. Interconnection application support. Our group supports variety of clients throughout North American market with interconnection application packages that includes preparing one-line diagram, filing the different documentation for interconnection application, as well as work with different OEMs, manufacturers, to obtain necessary model details, as well as tuning the models as required by different ISOs. We are active throughout different ISOs, ranging all the way from New York ISO, ISO New England, all the way to California ISO. Our group is experienced working with different sides of the project, starting from 1 megawatt all the way to 2000 megawatts. Our focus is mainly on wind, solar, and energy, or specifically battery energy storage projects, as well as we also support plans and projects which are conventional or non-renewable projects. A little bit more background and insights of what consists of model development and benchmarking. The models are specifically developed in different and variety of software tools required by different ISOs. ISOs specifically in Northeast require PSSE models for stability studies, but specifically in CAISO, there are preferences of PSLF models. Some of the ISO requires PowerWorld models, as well as PSCAD, ASPEN, and TSAT models. We are very familiar with all the different softwares that's been used across, and have team members experience with all the softwares and tuning the models in different softwares. These models are the inception phase. Once these models are available, these are used by ISOs and TSPs in different variety of planning studies, ranging from load flow, dynamic protection, and generic models are used for ensuring that the network and the grid is able to or the ISO or TSP is able to perform all the studies required for different interconnection applications without having to identify the specifics and details of a black box model. So there is a transition from user-defined models to generic models, and we are experiencing both the forefronts. We have worked with different OEMs and actively collaborate with different projects for generic models to tune those models on behalf of ISOs or on behalf of the interconnection customer as per the requirement. And the goal here is to ensure that this model meets the quality requirement and quality tests from different ISOs. Specifically, there are set standards by NERC, and there are specific variation from ERCOT as in England, MISO, to ensure that the different NERC requirements and criteria are met. Some of the models and some of the studies are performed in PSSE, PSLF, and PowerWorld for load flow evaluation. The dynamic studies are being performed in PSCAD, PSSE, PSLF, and TSAT. There are variation of different version of the softwares that's been used, and we are familiar with and experienced with all the different requirements and versions of the softwares that's been required by different ISOs. Moving on to some of the benchmarking efforts that we have been actively involved with ERCOT. So these models are provided by OEMs as is, meaning these are not tuned for a specific site or the project. There are instances where we have to ensure the models that's been provided are tuned for a specific project and the site. And this is to ensure that the model performance in different software packages like PSSE, PSCAD, and TSAT are all aligned. So to ensure that model quality, ISO requires benchmarking evaluation. Specifically in ISO New England, there is a benchmarking requirement between PSSE and PSCAD models. This will allow ISO to have a assurance that the models are tuned and are able to meet the right-through requirements as required by NERC. In ERCOT market, there is a focus on model quality tests, specifically in PSSE, PSCAD, and TSAT. These are different software packages used throughout different markets, and we have been involved in all those testing and tuning, as well as we have been part of different ISOs and efforts for microgrid and black start, where we have been providing support for hardware in the loop benchmarking to ensure that the models that are developed for the specific OEM or the projects are in line with the specific hardware parameters and actual test bench setup. Transitioning towards the studies. So once the models are submitted to ISOs, there are different studies that's been involved, mainly from feasibility study, impact study, and facility studies. These are performed by ISOs. The goal of performing these studies again is to ensure the reliability and stability of the models and the projects that are coming online. So there are two sets of studies, specific set of studies that includes ISO and are performed by ISOs are feasibility, impact, and facility studies. There are another set of studies that's done by interconnection customer, mainly power flow, short circuit, harmonic, transient stability, switching over voltage, to name a few. The motivation behind performing the second set of studies and behind the fence studies is to ensure that the project and the design meets the different IEEE criteria. These are required by different financing authority to ensure that the projects that's been financed does not have any underlying issues which may hinder the long-term operation of the plant. We have supported different studies for interconnection customers, and we are familiar with developing detailed and equivalent models for behind the fence, starting from transmission line all the way to the inverters or wind turbines as needed. We have performed behind the fence studies for various customers, and this includes power flow study to ensure and evaluate the losses throughout the balance of plant, ensuring that the project meets the reactive power requirements or power factor criteria by ISOs, performing short circuit study to ensure that the balance of plant cables and the switch gears and equipments will not be damaged or will be subject to damage in case fault occurs in the BOP. Performing harmonic study to ensure that the project and the inverters are not generating excess amount of harmonic that will exceed the IEEE requirements, and this is a growing concern with the more IBR resources we are connecting to the grid. There is a higher harmonic contribution coming out from the projects, and the utilities are acting and taking actions to ensure that the projects do comply with all these requirements. So that includes pre-energization harmonic studies that requires a desktop evaluation, and then post-energization harmonic evaluation that requires measuring the actual harmonic contribution coming out of the project site. There are a few other transient studies that include switching over voltage. This is mainly performed in PSCAD software, which is capturing the transient behavior of the different models and inverters to ensure that the project and the equipments within the BOP will not be damaged in case of a lightning strike or a switching surge that may happen during different faults within the project or outside the project. And last but not least, transient stability study. This is performed to evaluate the transient behavior of the project during different contingencies and grid conditions. Transitioning towards the tail end of the project lifecycle includes NERC compliance studies. This includes some of the PRC studies that are associated with protection, some of the mod studies that are associated with model validation, and FSC studies that are associated with the modeling and accuracy of the project models. We support different ICs throughout the North American market for coordinating the models to ensure that the models that are submitted to the ISOs are accurate, are in line with the NERC requirements, and their performance in field is in sync with the actual model parameters that's been submitted to ISO. Some of this includes performing voltage right through and frequency right through settings, as well as performing site testing to ensure that the reactive power capabilities of the projects are meeting the ISO requirements, and the reactive power, frequency, and voltage control are tuned as per the NERC requirements. And this all reports are submitted and kept on file in case if project gets audited. These are reviewed. If there are compliance issues, then projects are penalized heavily by the NERC. Moving on to the details of the transmission planning and consulting group. Our group has extensive experience on complex transmission projects, ranging from high voltage DC projects to all the way to FACTS, which are more sophisticated technologies that's used for long range power transfer. Um, we do offer our services and evaluation to identify, solve different challenges that are associated with projects towards having a short circuit ratio issue all the way to tuning the models that does not meet the regulatory and operational aspect of ISO. We offer strategies and planning services for utility scale, large scale generators, uh, offer feasibility and screening studies, more to evaluate the cost and associated time frame of the different projects. And this is to give more insights on how and what actual outcome will look like based on different ISOs, and this allows different ICs to make economic decisions whether to proceed with the project or perform and help them select different routes to how to proceed and navigate through different changes happening throughout the different ISOs and transmission providers. Some of the services that we offer does include the economic evaluation of the projects to ensure the locational marginal price, what will be beneficial to the interconnection customer. We help them select specific locations to identify and where interconnecting a project may yield a better economic outcome. So we do offer those services, as well as we investigate the site, perform technical due diligence for the interconnection, and help them through technical and commercial evaluation. We also work as owners engineers, providing services in selecting technical specification for the different equipments, ranging from main power transformers all the way to inverters, and help the owners select the different OEMs, help the owners with the technical aspect of substation and BOP design, be there as their extension of the team to navigate through different challenges on selecting a EPC provider, and then be a liaison for the owner to overview the interconnection process, as well as reviewing the different design packages for the owners, and ensuring that the project meet the time frame as committed in the generation interconnection agreement, as well as different design and IEEE criteria required for the operation. And on the tail end, we do provide services on different NERC testing and reporting and evaluation. We also offer detailed engineering services, including performing root cause evaluation, expert testimony, performance optimization, and technical report writing and training as needed and requested by different customers. This does also include due diligence for different owners, provide services for financial institution for reviewing the technical compliance and reports for different projects that's been financed, support the mergers, and um, identify the risk associated with technical or financial criteria. At the interest our mission, our people are our mission, so we have very talented and diverse team members. We have a passionate and focused, technically focused team members who are committed to professional services and advancement of our clients. We do have our community mission, so the goal is to ensure safety and sustainability of our projects and our clients, to ensure that the projects that we are supporting are in compliance with different criterias and different agencies in the market that we are operating. Safety is our first priority. We ensure that the projects and the studies that we are supporting meet the different compliance criteria and the IEEE requirements. If we are seeing issues, we work with the clients to ensure that we address any potential concerns and flag any issues to ensure that the project are in compliance to avoid any accidents or damage. Why choose interest? As we discussed, safety of the projects, the work that we have been involved is at the top of our list. We are going to deliver a quality product to the clients and customers we are supporting. We have the expertise in-house and highly experienced team members with the years of experience serving the industry. Our goal is to provide value to our clients and customers to ensure that the projects we are supporting are yielding a positive outcome, whether it's technical or in the financial aspect. We are located throughout the North American market, so we are having local presence and offices in different states. And we have a very diverse group of the team members and different services that we offer throughout the different markets that we are. We have been growing. Right now, we are 2,500 plus employees through different groups and teams that we are part of. And this represents company time frame and the growth throughout the inception all the way until to date. With different acquisitions we had, our goal is to bring and incorporate more teams and organizations that would support the services and help us grow our offerings and quality of the services. Some of the recognition we have in ENR, we are at the 44th place in the designing, and we are at the 58th place in the design firm. The main markets we operate are electrical power, renewables, which is part of which is what our group as consulting is part of: gas utilities, gas transmission, industrial and manufacturing, and telecommunication. And those are our corporate structure. Industry recognition, we are in the top 1% with the 100 firms on the System Integrator Giants list in 2022. And we have received recognition for diversity in different media. And this slice represents the offices we are and the markets we are active in. And that's all I had for today. Thank you. And Janet,
Thank you, Hardik.
Take questions. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. If you have any questions, feel free to place them in the live event Q&A, and we can go through them to answer. If you don't have any questions, feel free to look out for our next PowerGen webinar series. We will be posting them on LinkedIn and then sending them out through email as well. But other than that, thank you so much for attending.
Great. Thanks so much.